The body is not a single-dimensional aspect. We need to start looking at health and well-being in a multifaceted approach. And many authors and lecturers and teachers have created what they believe are the pillars of health. I've put together what I believe are the foundational aspects of optimal health. And at the base level of that, the first pillar is diet. I really believe that our diet is incredibly important. And particularly in today's culture, society, where our food is filled with toxins and residues and sprayed with chemicals and glyphosate and other factors, I think the importance of eating whole, of eating fresh, and eating organic when you possibly can is absolutely essential. Along with diet, in that same bottom tier, I'm going to put in supplementation. I believe that no matter who we are, we need additional minerals, we need additional vitamins, we need additional enzymes to break down our food, to allow our body to absorb it and to utilize it to a much greater capacity. Above that aspect, I place something that not too many people place on their pillar of health, but I think it is incredibly important, and in fact right next to diet, and that would be water. I think we underestimate the vitality, the importance of water in our body. To be honest, we always hear the statement, our body is 65% water, 68% water. You hear different quotes, but we know that there's a lot of water in there. But what we don't realize is because of the size of the water molecule, that actually translates into 9 out of every 10 molecules of water in the body are actually water molecules. Our body is mostly water. My next tier or pillar of health after water would be movement. And we know the importance of movement. We've been told that for years. In fact, the new buzzword around health, well-being, and medicine now is that being sedentary is almost as bad as being a smoker. When we are sedentary, when we don't move, when we don't get the blood flowing, the lymphatic system moving, we really are doing extensive harm to the body. Now, I'm not suggesting that we all need to go out and get gym memberships and start lifting heavy weights and doing other things like that, unless, of course, you enjoy that, then I support that completely. But I'm suggesting that we move. I'm suggesting that we get up from our desk every 20 to 30 minutes to take a stretch. I'm suggesting we stand at our desk when we possibly can, move around the room as often as we can. So the next pillar of health after movement, I move into sleep. And again, we know the importance of sleep, and there are so many studies that confirm that sleep is when our body regenerates. It's when our mind clears itself of debris, particularly denatured proteins. We also, we sort of clear out at that point our psychological aspect. We download and get rid of the stress of the day so that we can start new and start afresh. But yet we don't take sleep seriously enough. We don't prepare for it. We don't allow time to unwind. We don't turn off the blue screen emitting technology like our phones and our pads and our computers and our television screens. And we don't return back to basics, such as just sitting quietly and reflecting on our day, perhaps writing in a journal a little bit, or reading, and actually reading from a book with a binder on it as opposed to trying to read from a Kindle or a lit blue screen pad. Very, very important aspect. Getting to bed early, sleeping, getting the full 8 hours of rest that we need, it will change your life more than you realize. Try it and see if that's not the case. Lastly, and I place this in the last position intentionally, but only because I envision that this sort of sprouts out and brings its effect into all of the other pillars. In other words, I think this last pillar has its effect on each and every one of the pillars that it preceded, and that's stress. We all have stress. And stress is actually not created by outside experiences. It's created by how you respond to those experiences. And that's in paramount importance. And what that says is that we don't need to be trying to control our life or our situation or circumstances, but instead, all we need to be responsible for, all we need to think about, all we need to deal with is how we react to those specific situations and circumstances. And if we're able to realize that we don't need to attach ourselves to it, we don't need to get caught into the drama of the emotion of the situation of whatever is occurring, we truly can flow much easier. So stress is vital, and it starts with us becoming aware of it, and it starts by us not getting attached to it. The Buddhists have a saying, and that saying is that all suffering comes from attachment. And it means if we could just allow these experiences of life to flow through us openly, easily, freely, without getting caught on them and in them, all of life would become easier and simpler. Try that and see if it doesn't help. Not only all the pillars of health that I've mentioned, but see too if you don't feel better, have more energy, and begin to see life in a completely new perspective.